When I mute the TV, it turns my lights to not blinking or fading on the same frequency. Go to Instagram. Go live there. Facebook. Oh no, don't boost post. I can't. I'm not doing it. And Twitter. All right. Think we're good. Facebook went kaput on us on Monday, so hopefully it sticks with us this time. Like halfway through, I think it was like, because we record Wednesday and Friday, like back to back. I think it was like halfway through the Friday show. It's like Facebook just dropped, and everybody was sending me messages on Facebook Messenger. I'm like, well, we're just gonna keep going because I'm hungry and I want to get dinner. And so if people don't see us live, they'll catch it on Friday on the replay.
Yeah, exactly.
But we're all good. Five green arrows. All right, let's get there. This thing. Pull up the recording software. Hopefully Riley won't bark. Pull up the notes. All right. Here we go. 27:55. It was for Labor Day. Here we go. Welcome to episode 2755 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Monday to you and happy Labor Day here around the United States of America. Thanks to everybody who gets out there and puts in a good day's work each and every day. Hopefully today you're getting a little break from that job and maybe wrapping up one last day in the pool, or maybe one last being like Dennis, putting some meat on the grill when he posts those pictures over in the clubhouse. Just makes my mouth water because he's the grill master. And if I did that, maybe a brat is about the best I can go. Just, go up to Deerbergs, throw a couple brats and they explode. And I'm like, wish I could be Dennis. But whatever you're doing, hope you're putting a wrap on your summer, getting ready for some awesome football season here for your team. Everybody still has hope at this point of the season, even if you dropped one already, but you still got hope. And back to school, everybody's having a great start to the school year. But we are here to transport you down to Walt Disney World with a trip report. That's what we do on Mondays. And today, telling you what, we have a love story. We have a great one. We have a romantic show. And it's going to break the internet. It's going to be, I'm just telling you, you might have heard about something that happened this past week on the internet. A couple got engaged. Nothing on this. We're going to outdo that. That was nothing. We're going to have more downloads of this show and more buzz. TMZ is going to come to us. So we have a return guest. Allie's joining us from Pennsylvania today on Labor Day. Allie, thanks for coming on the show. What's going on?
Thanks for having me, Mike. Happy to be back. Excited to share about this trip.
Yes, I mean, nothing to live up to,
Yeah, I know.
Because, we got a little love story to tell today. But, of course, Walt Disney World is going to be our setting. And we got all kinds of, we're going to talk about the hotel, the times in the park, some great dining experiences and all that. But, I mean, you can't, there's always spoilers because of the titles of the show and so forth. You see that when you download the show. But, I think there was another couple that maybe got engaged like past week or so, but yeah, whatever. I mean, it's a football singer. Come on.
Exactly. Yeah. Who knows who they are? I don't know.
Let's cut to the chase. You got engaged at Walt Disney World. They got engaged in Lee Summit, Missouri. I mean, let's the scale right here, right? Lee Summit, Missouri, Walt Disney World. I mean, already you have won. I mean, come on now. I mean, not even close. I've been to Lee Summit many times in soccer tournaments. Exactly. So you win. So anyway, you got it. So yeah, I kind of spoiled what we're going to get to, but that is going to be the point of today's show. But let's talk about the beginning. Let's go back to where it all started. Disney stories always have the beginning, the middle, and the end. And how did this trip come together for you? Like at first, because obviously I kind of spoiled the ending. I'm a terrible storyteller. I just get rambling. I get excited. I'm ADD. I get excited. I just jump to things. But did you have any idea that the ending of this trip was going to be the way it went? I mean, because I think my wife had eons ago had an idea. Maybe, I don't know if I should ask her if she had an idea the night we got engaged, if she knew. I don't know. Did you?
Yeah, so I had a pretty good idea that was happening on the trip. I designed the ring, like we went through the whole process. So
All right. All right. Cool.
so so there was, I knew it was coming up. And he knows that Walt Disney World is my favorite place. So I had a pretty good idea that was going to happen on this trip, but I left it up to him to decide, where and when and how and all that jazz.
I feel, what's your fiance's name? So
Jacob.
Okay, Jacob. Because I just got to tell you, man, I feel for Jacob because doing something like this at Walt Disney World, I mean, there's just so many dynamics, right? There's just so many variables that even like if you know it's going to happen during a trip, like I'd be worried about carrying around the ring, and there's always so many people around, and like I feel for him because like I don't know, like for me, I would want to like get it over with, right? I mean, not that it's like that. That sounds terrible to say it that way, but I would like because I'd be just a bundle of nerves, like until it happened. Like I'd be scared I'd lose the ring, and like the whole time I'd be distracted until like I proposed, right? I don't know, that would be me because it's such an important thing. It's the reason you're going down, and I mean, like looking back on it and talking with Jacob, like what did he say, like as far as like his thoughts on this whole thing? Then we'll jump into the trip.
Yeah, so he definitely was anxious carrying the ring around. I knew it was in his carry-on because we were not checking that and putting that in the airline's hands. I gave him an air tag to keep in his carry-on with him so that we just always had that tracked. And he like would double check. He'd be like, look away, like, and he would double check, make sure it's in his backpack, like several points throughout the travel. And then once we were in the room, it was, pretty settled and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely traveling with it. He was very nervous. And he was very happy once it was off his hand and literally on my hand. Because he's like, oh, now it's your problem. now you can be stressed about it.
I think after, the proposal, like then it's a celebration. It's immediately a celebration.
Exactly.
Time, and it's just like, but like I just be a ball of nerves till that point.
Yeah.
So there's just so much going on at Walt Disney World anyway. Like it's just So let's jump back to the beginning. So how did you guys plan the trip, and like when did you decide? And tell us about the planning stages of this. How did it come together?
Yeah, so I grew up going to Walt Disney World. This was actually my 10th trip to Walt Disney World. And Jake did not grow up going. He went one time with friends in like, I think 2021. They stayed off property and like didn't really do a whole lot. So this was going to be his first like big, like real Disney trip, as I like to say. So we decided to stay at the Riviera because that was my dream resort to stay at. And so we stayed in one of the Tower Studios, smallest room on property, but honestly, plenty of space for just the two of us. It was great. And we decided August, honestly, because it was inexpensive to go, relatively speaking. And yeah, every week leading up to it, because again, I'm the Disney person. We did Walt Disney World Wednesday. Where I would do a presentation for Jake on different Disney things. So talking all about talking about the different resorts, talking about lightning lanes, talking about what different Disney transportation there is, all the rides and different parks, the different restaurants leading up to our 60-day window. So he got lots of crash courses every Wednesday.
Did you give him like a final before he was able to go to the airport?
No, I didn't. That would have been a good idea, though. I should have thought about that.
Got to get at least to 90% or else.
That would have been good. I think he would have passed it. He definitely was like learning a lot. We were going over like everything that you could like see in the app, like we check wait times leading up to it. So he was pretty well versed going into it, which is good.
So he knew what he was getting into here, like with all this, and like, but he bought it. I mean, like his attitude was good. Like, was he genuinely curious, or do you think he was doing it on your behalf?
No, I think he was genuinely curious. I mean, he's a really big Star Wars fan.
Okay,
I know people just listening can't like see behind me, but all the Star Wars stuff is his.
cool.
So he like definitely like super excited for the studios, and we built in building the droids and going to Oga's. Like we definitely made Galaxy's Edge a big focus of our studios day, and I think he said that like seeing me so excited kind of helped him get like really excited for it as well. And we watched like the Imagineering story and stuff like that leading up to it. So he was like really interested in how the Imagineers like made the ride. So just different things like that like got him really excited for it.
And that's a great point you bring up, Allie, is that when you're bringing somebody that's new and they could be kind of iffy on like, being is maybe obsessed as we are with theme parks and how much we enjoy our vacations, is that if you can find that one hook, like a Star Wars fan or somebody that's a golfer, like, hey, they have great golf courses. You know what? We're going to be down there for a week, but we're also going to play a round of golf over there. And like, these are really good golf courses. Like I said, Star Wars, or if they're a fan of the Avatar franchise, okay, they have this whole Pandora section at Animal Kingdom. We're going to check that out. You won't believe it. Like these attractions, like boom, you kind of have like a reason for them to be there. And then, like you said, and if you're, when you're in a relationship, it is super, and you mentioned that too, it's super cool to see your significant other like in their element. I think my wife loves seeing me, she's a big football fan too, but I think half of it is just seeing how nuts I go at the football games. Like, I mean, I'm a nut, like in Mizzou, I'm just in my element. Like, it's just my thing. And I think she just, you just like to see each other happy, and I like to see her with her family, and that's when she's her happiest. And I mean, I should say that about my family. When I'm at my season ticket to, the section 121 in Mizzou, that's where I'm my happiest. And you like to see that, I guess. But I mean, I think that's what makes a strong relationship, right? I mean, that's
absolutely.
Yeah. So tell us about the travel down and getting there. And I mean, it was well. Let me ask you about this, because we don't talk about this much. That studio at the Riviera, because those things are small. What was that like though? Because a lot of people always ask questions about that, because there's only a few of those on property. There's not many at all.
Right. Yeah. So it's small, but you know that going into it, all there is the Murphy bed. And so we just had that down honestly the entire time we were there. And like, yeah, it's tighter than other rooms that I've stayed in on property. The bathroom honestly feels very big, though. I feel like
I've heard that from more than one person. That's so funny. They always said the bathroom felt big. I'm like,
yeah. And like proportionately, the bathroom definitely feels big. But yeah, I mean, like it was plenty of space. You're not going to fit more than two people in there for sure. But it was definitely comfortable space for the two of us, especially when we were primarily doing parks. We did do one rest day. We spent a good bit of time at the resort on that day, but even then it didn't feel cramped or crowded at all during the trip. And the balcony was nice. And yeah, it was a really good experience. I would definitely stay in one of those rooms again if it's just two people.
And those duo studios, I believe, are on the corners, aren't they?
Yeah. It's just like that, like literally like the tower where like the like RR is, like the logo. Like there are just, I think it's 3 of them per floor. So like you can't pick like a room view or anything like that. Like there's no preferred view. So we were on the one side where we're like really just looking out at the parking lot, but we could kind of see, we could see Spaceship Earth if we looked to our left. And then the ones in the middle and I think on the far left side probably could have, could definitely see the Skyliner really well and probably the studios a little bit too.
Cool.
So it's a nice view.
So did the Riviera though as a resort live up to your expectations as far? I mean, I've never stayed there. I stayed there one night. Crashed with Scott. He had like a 1-bedroom and I came in one night, but Mallory's got like rich taste. Like she's a slower roll. I'm a Pop Century dad and she wants to stay at the Riv. But like, the pools, the dining, I mean, it's got the Skyliner. I mean, it really does have everything, but was it all you were hoping for?
Yeah, it was definitely really nice. Last year we stayed at Caribbean Beach and we were able to walk over to the Riviera a good bit and we did Topolino's last year. We didn't do Topolino's on this trip, but definitely like really enjoy the dining options. I mean, Primo Piatto is like one of the best dining options, I think. So, you know, and just kind of being able to like chill out in like the Voyagers Lounge is nice. And I just felt like, I mean, the cast members everywhere are great, but like every single cast member that we encountered at the Riviera was just above and beyond. They were just fantastic. And the smell of the Riviera is very nice. They smell they sell candles now in the gift shop of like, and it smells just like the hallways. And I really wanted to get one, but I thought it might break in my luggage.
Yeah, I've had so much stuff break in my luggage, so you probably made the right call. I
Yeah.
got Skyliner open, brought home 2 glass ornaments that were so cool. Yeah, they were powdered when they got home, so I was like,
oh man.
But yeah, I was gonna say the smell because there's something about that resort. That's why I tell Mallory it smells fancy. Like it just like it. Smells too expensive. Pop Century has more of like a Midwestern smell. Like it smells like I always tell her that. It's a joke. Anyway, so I don't know what it smells like, but I don't know what we smell like. But okay, so let's kind of go through your timeline here. So you guys get down there on your travel day, and you had dinner at the Edison. And that's a place you don't get to talk about much. So how was that?
Yeah, that was really good. So basically, so the day that we flew down, we weren't staying on property. We flew down a day early. Big reason was was so that we could take advantage of the water park day. But then also one of my good friends lives down in Orlando, and she was leaving for a trip the next day. So that was the only day that we could really overlap with her. So we met up with her and did dinner at the Edison. I really enjoyed it. The food was great. The cheesecake there was delicious. The only thing that I would say is for, you know, catching up with an old friend wasn't necessarily the best spot because of the live entertainment. They were fantastic, but it was just kind of loud. So kind of talking over them was a little bit challenging. So I just didn't think that through quite as much when I booked that. But it was great. And I would definitely consider going back.
Yeah, that's a great point though, because some places are better to sit and talk, and then some places with live entertainment, like if I wouldn't do that at Raglan Road with like the dancers,
exactly,
up on the bar, dancer.
Yeah.
But what kind of live entertainment though for the folks that are thinking about it? Because we never get to talk about it. I mean, what is it like? It's like a 30s 40s theme kind of thing, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like it very much feels like you're in like the Great Gatsby, I would say. Very much kind of like that like jazzy kind of era. And it was, at least when we were there, it was like these 3 singers up on stage, and they're kind of doing like an old-timey radio show. And they're singing popular songs today, but in that kind of more jazzy style. So like they sounded great. The music was fantastic. So it was definitely a really cool vibe to it for sure. And, you know, they had like on all like the 1920s kind of like get up and stuff like that. So it definitely like looked really cool. When you walk in, it's kind of like steampunky, with like one of like the big like wheels and stuff like that. So yeah, it's definitely a really, really neat vibe in there.
And I like that strategy though, to go in, like be there in Orlando so you can check in the next day and be there, boom, to take care of that water park day. So you get the full check-in day, get to the water park. So you picked both water parks were open at this time, right? Blizzard Beach and Typhoon.
Yeah.
Why'd you pick? I love asking, why'd you pick Blizzard over Typhoon?
So we decided, honestly, because Blizzard Beach was just so silly. Like the theming of Blizzard Beach to me is just so funny. Like riding a ski lift in Florida is just hilarious to me. And so that's why we chose it.
It's so impractical though, like because dude, it's way faster just to walk up to the stairs. Like it's a given. I learned that the first time. I thought you had to ride the ski lift. This year ago. I was with Paige was like 10, like she's 28 now. This is a long time ago, but I thought you had to ride the ski lift to go on Summit Plum, and I'm like, no, it drops you off like halfway, and then you got to go the rest. I'm like, dude, but it was fun. We got a good picture because Pam took a picture of us on the ski lift. I mean, that was fun.
Yeah, it was definitely fun riding it. We did Teamboat Springs, which is like the bigger like raft ride. Just the 2 of us going down there, which was really fun. And then we just went around the lazy river. I didn't get to do Summit Plummet or Slush Gusher, unfortunately. I had a little bit of like a wound on my foot, so I was like, doctor recommended not for that.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had to take it a little bit easy with some of the water stuff, unfortunately. But really had a nice time. We kind of decided after the lazy river and then we got some lunch that we were going to head out. And right as we decided we were going to leave, it just started storming and they had to close down like everything there. So then everyone started leaving anyways. So we're like, good timing, I guess. But then as soon as we got into the bus, I got a notification that the room was ready at the Riviera. So
oh my gosh,
timing was perfect.
You're using up you're using up everybody in the clubhouse's luck right there.
I know.
Scotty P never getting he's gonna be the last one on the ship this week, or he's already, well, by the time he comes out, he's already coming up.
Yeah, that's true.
No, so, but I mean, you had a good time at Blizzard Beach while you were there.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. I will say, and I don't know if like maybe it was just sold out, but like I did not see like any Blizzard Beach merchandise, which was kind of a bummer. I was hoping to get like a pin or something, but I just like didn't see anything in the gift shop there. So maybe I just missed it. But I feel like we did like a pretty good lap around the gift shop and didn't see anything.
That is a shame because they have a cool logo. I mean, because it's still like 90s. Like I like that aesthetic. I love their logo and Typhoons. And Cynthia in the live chat tuned in on Facebook and says Steamboat Springs is the best, longest family raft ride I've been on. And so I agree with that because when I wrote a lot again, the same, I think it was the same day. I was on it with Pam and Paige because before Mallory, God, she's a senior in high school. So this was a long time ago. It was us three, right? And I think the thing holds like 10 people, maybe. Like they put a lot of people on that raft when it's busy. And we were on there with like, I think it was like 6 teenagers from Jamaica. And I just remember it was because it's a long ride and it swooshes you back and forth. Like it was the most fun ride ever. Cause I don't think these kids had ever been like in a water park. And I don't even know if these kids could swim. And it was like, cause we asked, cause like it was so long. We had a conversation on the way down. Like I knew there were 6 kids from Jamaica. And so it was Paige and Pam and me and these 6 kids from Jamaica. And they were just killed. They were laughing and carrying on. And I was scared they're going to drown when we got to the pool. Cause by the time I was like, cause they were all screaming. They were like terrified. I'm like, this is nuts. Like I'm like, there's one of me and I'm not that great of a swimmer. I'm like, I know there's lifeguards down there, but I mean, they were like terrified that they were going to flip over or something when that thing hit the pool. I just remember, but it was so fun though, because they were cracking up the whole time. And it was one of the most fun, like 2-3 minutes I've ever had at Walt Disney World. I still, to this day, I remember it. Like that is a great ride. Steamboat Springs.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm glad you brought that. It's a memory.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun for sure.
I haven't thought about that in years. Oh my gosh. It was like, I felt like it was kind of like the Jamaican bobsled team, but we were on a raft. I didn't know who was going to make it at the end because I'm not that great swimmer, but I know I was like, those guys were like, because they're like, maybe 14 or something. They're like, all screaming, I don't think I can swim. Like, I don't think it's that deep. Just stand up. I told them, I was like, I think you're tall. Anyway, okay. So after that though, Cake Bake Shop. And I love how you told me this. You said, Mike, I'm sorry. Dude, it's worth the money. I'm like, oh no. When I read that, oh no.
It really was. It really was. So yeah, we ended up just taking the Skyliner over to International Gateway and walking on over to the boardwalk because it's been years since I've been in the boardwalk area. And I was like, I need to try the Cake Bake Shop. So I got the Millionaire Cake, which I think is like their kind of like big one. And it's like chocolate, and I think there was like salted caramel and I don't know, all this other stuff in there. And I dug into that thing, and I'm a chocoholic and I am like a sweet treat fiend. That is the best cake I've ever had in my life. Like,
so good. I'm a chocoholic too. Like every night before bed, I eat I ate a bowl of Cocoa Pebbles, or not Cocoa Pebbles. What are the other ones?
The Cocoa Puffs.
Cocoa Puffs. Those are the ones. Yes.
Yeah.
I ate a bowl of those. So yes, I'm a chocolate fiend. And God, man, it's so expensive, but I might have to do it once. I might have to do it once.
I will say, I mean, like, yeah, like $20 some is expensive for a slice of cake. Like, absolutely. Yes. But I got it, like I ate it through like 3 sittings and shared it with Jacob. So like we definitely got our money's worth out of the cake. It was definitely like more than a serving size for sure.
But see, oh man, that would take a lot of restraint for me, because if it's that good, and that sounds super good, I like just one more bite, just one more, I think it'd be gone.
Yeah,
I just ate a $20 piece of cake and probably 5,000 calories. But if you're on vacation, it doesn't matter. That's what you
exactly. Do. Yeah. No, it was so good. It was so good.
So that was Sunday. That was your check-in day. So you got your water park, you got your stroll over on the boardwalk, and some Cake Bake Shop. Now, Monday is going to be your first day in the theme parks. And so this is the day. So
Yeah.
let's tell us how this all unfolds here.
Yeah, so Monday we knew we were gonna rope drop Epcot. So we got ready nice and early that morning because I had heard, with the Skyliners from the Riviera to Epcot kind of sometimes be dicey. So we got ready nice and early, and then I mobile ordered Primo Piatto, and I left the room to go get it while Jake finished getting ready. Yeah, wonderful.
You got to
So
get a bill for mobile order Primo Piatto. That is just the best move. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm walking back to the room. I don't even think I scanned my magic band to get into the room. Jake just opens the door for me, and he had put down all the curtains, so it's really dim in there. And he had these little fake candles just all over the bed, a little rose in a dome, just like Beauty and the Beast, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. And the ring is sitting right there. And so he just proposed right in the room, which was absolutely perfect for us. I think it's fantastic when, people do it. Like we saw someone just that night, getting engaged in front of the castle, and we were cheering for them. It's so exciting. But I think just for our personalities, it was just perfect to have that really private moment for us, which was, it was just the best.
I can tell. I mean, you're just glowing right now. That's perfect. And I love that. I mean, he thought about it, your favorite movie and the rose and stuff like that. But yeah, exactly. I remember, I used to joke with my wife, she kind of knew, right, we were going to, and I kept joking with her. I said, when I ask, I'm going to ask, because, we were going to a lot of football games, baseball games, stuff like that. We'd be at a Cardinals game. I'd be like, wait till the 7th inning. It's going to be, we're going to be on the Jumbotron. She's like, I swear, if you do that to me, I'm going to say no. On that camera. She's like, I'm just telling you. If you ever do that to me in front of a bunch of people, I will say no and embarrass you for the rest of your life. Because she's a very shy. I mean, obviously, she's never been on a podcast. I beg her all the time. I'm like, Pam, it'll be a ratings boom for our podcast. People beg, they want to hear your side of the story. They don't want to hear me anymore. They've heard me for 18 years. Everybody wants to hear you talk about those stories. She will not spout a word on the show. I just beg her. She's quiet. She's private. She's the opposite of me. But I'd always joke. I'd be like, yeah, we're gonna do it. I'm gonna propose to you on the Jumbotron, or in front of the castle. Dude, she would have for real, probably kicked me and then said no. So, I get it. But I mean that's your moment. It doesn't have to be, a big show for everybody, and that was just exactly right for you. I mean, I could imagine how special that is. I'm hearing that. That's so cool. It's just right. And the Riviera is now your resort, but it's dangerous though. See if. That's because you got to go back there now for anniversaries and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I will say we did do one of those nice DVC tours while we were there. So it's definitely a conversation.
They've totally got you. They've totally got you.
Yeah. So, there is a wedding that needs to be planned now. So it might be a couple years off, but there's definitely conversations about that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, do not tell them you got engaged in the Riviera, dude. They will use that. Yeah. Love that though. No, that's awesome. I'm so proud of you guys. That's awesome. Thanks. Okay, so now you guys, I mean, you're just floating on cloud 9, and were you I can see my wife. They're like, oh man, we're gonna be late for rope dropping.
No, we did take some time to FaceTime some family members while we were in the room, and we still made it into Epcot and in line for Remy before 8:30.
Oh my god!
So I still kept us on schedule.
Oh, I love it. Good Disney fan there. So tell us, I can't even imagine. Okay, so I'm losing it because that's a good Disney fan. So how did that? Still made it on time. That is so funny to me. Okay, we're engaged. We got Remy's calling. Okay, so how does this day unfold? I mean, because again, you got the adrenaline going. I mean, you folks. I mean, I'm sure throughout the day you're texting, taking pictures, just telling everybody in the world. So how'd the day go?
Yeah, so this day we actually did the Lightning Lane multi-pass, which was fantastic. So we rope dropped Remy, and then we were able to go over and just walk on to Grand Fiesta Tour. We had a Lightning Lane for Spaceship Earth, Lightning Lane for Frozen, Soarin'. I had just one for myself for Guardians. So we were making out like bandits. We were just like really booking things well, which was nice. And Epcot's my favorite park, so it was fantastic because we spent a good chunk of the day too just walking around World Showcase, just going country to country. And because we had the lightning lanes, we could afford to just spend like an hour or two doing that because we weren't waiting in line for rides and stuff like that. So that was great. And then we took the monorail on over to Magic Kingdom for the second part of the day, and got on things like Peter Pan's Flight and Small World, Haunted Mansion. We hit like a lot of just the classics. And that night we watched Starlight. That was like the big reason I wanted to end the night at Magic Kingdom, was to see Starlight for the first time. And that ended up being one of Jake's favorite things. His favorite thing overall on the trip was, aside from the engagement, aside from Star Wars, it was the nighttime shows. He just absolutely loved the nighttime shows. And Starlight just like had him absolutely hooked. I thought it was great. I really, really loved it. Then we got to end the night watching Happily Ever After, which was definitely like just really special.
I was going to say you had to end this night with Happily Ever After, right?
Yeah. Because, not to be cheesy, but like I found my Happily Ever After, and, and so that was just really special, So it was just a really, really special day. And I got to actually see one of my good friends from college. She works out in California for DVC. But she was on a work trip at Walt Disney World and overlapped with us. So we got to see her that night too. So it was just really cool being able to tell her in person and everything like that. So it was just a really, really cool day where we got to obviously started out the best way possible. We got to take great advantage of lightning lanes, got on so many attractions, and then ended the night in just one of the best ways possible, watching a nighttime parade at Magic Kingdom, which I haven't seen in years and years.
I mean, on top of everything else, like it's the new hotness, right? I mean, it was debuted weeks before, and you got to see. I mean, obviously all this other stuff going on. Your engagement, it's like the most romantic day ever. But getting to see that. But then, Happily Ever After though. That what a perfect way to end this day. I mean, because just the words to that. I love that. I love that fireworks show.
Oh. Yeah, I was definitely getting like really choked up throughout it, like the entire time. I was like, this is just so special, so magical. I loved it.
Oh man. I don't even know how you could continue the trip after that. Like, I know it's just starting, but it's like it hardly can get any better. It's so good. It's so good. But the next day you went over to the studios the next day.
We did.
And this for your fiance here now, because this is going to be his day. You're going to do some Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So we actually planned out the day so that the morning I could hit some things that were important to me. So we got a single pass for us for Rise of the Resistance because we didn't care about going on Slinky Dog Dash. So that took out needing to rope drop either of those attractions. So I was able to rope drop Sunset Boulevard. Jake wasn't going to go on Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster, but Tower is my favorite ride, and Rock and Roller Coaster is one of my favorites. And I'm very upset about the change that's coming. So I needed to get one last good ride in with Aerosmith.
So you're not pro Muppets on the.
I'm not. And here's the thing. I'll like step on my pedestal quickly.
I love this kind of stuff. I love hearing where people go on these things.
Here's my thing with it, and I mean I'm fine with it getting a retheme. I do really love Aerosmith. So like I just love the theme now. But my thing is, and I like the Muppets and I think they have a place, but I do think that the Muppets cater to an older generation overall. Like for example, like my parents.
Easy.
Okay. Well, like just I'm sorry. But like, okay, like my parents, they like the Muppets. Like my dad loves the Muppets. Yes. But like he's not riding Rock and Roller Coaster anymore. You know what I mean? So
I'm barely riding it, so I feel you. Yes, I get it.
Yeah. So I think in like one of my coworkers, her and her husband are really big Disney fans. And I know we had a similar conversation where, she really likes the Muppets, but she's like, I'm not going on Rock and Roller Coaster. So, it's just I would have loved. I know some people had the idea of like the Goofy movie, like doing something like that for the retheme with Rock and Roller Coaster.
I've never seen the Goofy movie. See, this is so different. They kept showing it on the cruise, and like all the younger people were like, "Oh my God, it's the Goofy movie. I'm like, what's that?
Yeah, and like that's like one of the movies like I grew up watching, and it's like I'm technically Gen Z, but I'm close to millennial age, so I think like if they cater to us a little bit, that'd be nice because I think we're the ones that are going to be going on Rock and Roller Coaster for several years to come. Still.
Yeah, because the Rock and Roller Coaster, I never thought about it. See, I love having these discussions because you're kind of right. Like I am on my tail end riding Rock and Roller Coaster because it does almost kill me. And but I love like and the Muppets are my generation, right? I mean, I'm 50, I'm 51, so I get it. Like I grew up with the Muppets, like the Muppet Show, like late 70s, early 80s, and stuff like that, and they are. So you make a good point that I have never heard before. That is a great argument for this.
I mean, but I do see like the counter argument to what I said of like, well, like it can introduce the Muppets to new generations then too. So like I'm like I do see that side, but I don't know. My hope as someone who loves Camp Rock was Camp Rock and Roller Coaster was what I wanted. I know that would have never happened, but that's what I would have wanted if Disney Imagineering put me in charge of that attraction. That's what I would have done.
That would have not gone over well with a ton of people. But I mean, we hosted Camp Rock parties in our backyard because that was Paige, I guess. One of my daughters, when Camp Rock was big, we had the entire neighborhood come over to our backyard, and I brought home the LCD projector from my classroom, and we showed that like premiere on the back of our. We had a white house, a house with white siding, and so we took the LCD projector. I got some speakers, and we had a Camp Rock like camp out in our back party for the premiere. Like we made little treats and stuff for the whole neighborhood. It was awesome. Disney would have shut us down if they'd have known. But they were awesome parties. Like we did that for the Theme Beach party and all those like Disney movies back in the day.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, yeah, I know like that would have never happened, but like in my like fantasy world, that's what Rock and Roller Coaster and everything too. But yeah, so we were able to knock out Sunset Boulevard pretty early, like before the park opened for regular guests. We were able to get that done. And then we went right in line to Mickey and Minnie's. Then bam, 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 we got out of the way all the major attractions that we wanted to do, for the most part, that weren't in Galaxy's Edge. So then the rest of the afternoon was spent in Galaxy's Edge.
So what were his first impressions upon like seeing the Millennium Falcon, like being in that environment? Because I like to hear like for Star Wars fans what it's like to actually be immersed in there. What did he say?
Yeah, I mean, he absolutely loves it. He was just like completely just struck by it. He did get to see it when he went a couple of years ago, but like I think he got to do a little bit more exploring this time, just kind of like the little market area and stuff like that, and just kind of like taking in even more of the details. And was just pointing out little things to me that kind of went over my head. But yeah, he was just soaking it all in, and I don't think that he, like, if he had hit play, we would have never left Galaxy's Edge on that trip.
I hear you. So now you guys made a droid, so we don't talk about that very often. How would you describe that to our listeners? What was that experience like?
Yeah, so that was really cool. So we each built one. I kind of let him pick. So there were 4 different models of droids that you could pick from. So there's an R2, a BB, Chopper, and then there's one other one that I can't remember, but it kind of looks like the R2 body, and then the legs are kind of like triangular looking. So I knew that I wanted to either do an R2 or a BB, and so I just decided I would pick whichever one he didn't do. So he picked the R2. That's what he wanted to do. So I did the BB.
A great married couple, because that's exactly what you do at dinner at Texas Roadhouse. Like my wife ordered, well, she couldn't decide, so I'll order the one she didn't get. So
exactly. Yeah. So it was really cool. We decided to do like the upgrade package where we got the little backpacks and the personality chips. So those are really fun, just making different noises, honestly, for the droids. And then I had been looking a lot on TikTok leading up to it because I'm very indecisive. So I knew that I needed to have an idea of what I wanted my droid to look like going into it. So I wouldn't take 2 hours just standing at the little conveyor belt, because it's just a giant conveyor belt and all the parts are just moving through. And they have kind of like a little spreadsheet of what parts you need to get for which droid you're building. And then you just fill your little basket with those parts in whatever color you want. So I did a black and silver BB model, and then Jake did a black and red R2 model. So we loaded up our baskets and then went over and we're each paired with a cast member who helped us to actually put it together. So that was really cool. I am like not very like savvy with anything. So it was a little bit more of a struggle for me. But I just think like I don't think it's actually a challenging thing at all. I just think that things were not clicking in my brain. So it was still a great experience. I just couldn't get the little screwdriver to work very well. But you know, my little BB model is working great and he's all put together nicely. So yeah, so we were able to do that, and it ended up being a really like overall a pretty quick experience. I would say probably like 20 to 30 minutes tops. Definitely didn't take very long at all, which is nice because like it, you know, like it doesn't take up a huge chunk of your day. But yeah, so that was just a really cool experience. And then having them just kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like fun, like being those people with the droid backpacks on around the park.
Exactly. I'm always jealous of those people and the people with the lightsabers. I'm like, oh, someday I'm gonna have. Like, I'll keep saying that. Eventually, I will. But
Yeah,
well,
no.
so Connor over on YouTube that's tuned in live is recording is asking if you guys saw either the Little Mermaid show or Villains. See either of the two new shows?
We didn't end up doing that. So I think out of the two, I would have wanted to do the Little Mermaid show, but honestly, by the time that we were like at one point we were over in that area and it was probably a good like 15, 20 minutes before the show started. And there was a cast member at the entrance saying that like they were already at capacity.
It's popular.
So yeah, so definitely like really, really popular. And I am definitely going to make a point of it to go see definitely the Little Mermaid one and probably the Villains one eventually on like our next trip. But just didn't get around to it on this one. I would say our Hollywood Studios day was the day that we had the most like scheduled out because we also did the Fantasmic Dining package. So yeah, so we were just like scheduled out with the, like things a little bit more on this day than the other days.
Okay, I was just curious. So you mentioned doing the Fantasmic Dining package. You did sci-fi for lunch, so
yeah,
I haven't been in there for years.
Yeah.
So how was that?
So I went to sci-fi when I was younger, and I've been saying I don't think that they've changed like the little clips that they show like since I was a kid.
I'm so like nostalgic. I love when they don't change.
No, yeah, no. Like it's great. Like I just like remember there were like a few clips in there that I was like I remember like having like nightmares about these when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So like it was just like funny like seeing that like again now.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, some of that stuff is like kind of terrifying for little kids, right?
Yeah. So but yeah, we had a great experience. We were like in like the front row of cars. Which was really cool. So we were like right up against the screen. And then our cast member, who was our server, Michael, I like wrote down his name. He was absolutely spectacular. He was just, you know, like really playing into like the part. And, you know, was saying that we were picking up the bill for everyone else in our car and stuff like that. So it's just like really, really fun and just like had us laughing. And, you know, it's a burger. Can't go too wrong with that. So it's good food. Nothing to complain about for sure. We were definitely stuffed.
Yeah, it's good to have for lunch. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Now you did Fantastic Dining package, so I'll make sure we get in all the stuff that you got a lot of other cool stuff we got to get to. But what did Jake think of Fantasmic? Because you guys just, I mean, happily ever after the night you got engaged. I mean, you're not going to top that, but you said he liked Nighttime Spectaculars. Was Fantasmic up there too?
Fantasmic was his favorite of the Nighttime Spectaculars.
Nice.
Yeah. So Fantasmic is like my favorite thing, just like at Disney, period. I'm wearing my Fantasmic shirt right now.
There you go. Spoiler.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
I adore Fantasmic. Jake knows that. And he didn't see it the last time he went. And like he knows like the little beginning kind of jingle that's part of the BOGP like opener and everything like that. So like he knows that part of it. He knew nothing else. And he was like, I don't want to know anything else. He's like, I don't want to like watch clips on like TikTok or anything like that. He was like, I want to go in and like I just like want to experience it like for the first time just in person. And he was just absolutely just blown away. Just absolutely loved it. And of course I loved it as I always do. And I'm crying as I always do to that, you know, at the very end, like
I know.
Oh my gosh.
That just gets me every
Yeah.
time. It's like, oh, so
Yeah.
good.
And
So
like it was just like it's just so spectacular. And I think that, you don't need to do the dining package by any means. Like you're gonna get into the show probably regardless. Um, but I do really like one, not having to line up on Sunset for a while. And two, I like having that like center section. And you're gonna eat a meal anyways, so may as well
that's a good point.
make it a
Yeah.
making a dining package one if you're able to swing it.
Yeah.
Um,
Every time I'm always like, I've seen that show probably 20 times. I'm always like, how'd Mickey get up there?
I know, it's just as crazy. It's so good. Oh my gosh.
I love that show.
Yeah, it's great. So yeah, that was definitely like the Hollywood Studios Day, I think, was the day that we were both looking forward to the most, because him for Star Wars, me for Fantasmic, and it just, yeah, it was great.
And we know one thing: Jason was not in the parks that day.
Yeah, I did think about like messaging in the Discord and being like, "Hey, Jason, like respectfully, do you mind like not coming to Hollywood Studios today?"
Please do not move through the threshold of your door. Please, just please. I love the show. And if you don't know, you need to be in the clubhouse, and then you'll find out. So that's
exactly, yeah.
Over there. All right. So the next day was Wednesday. This was your down day. You took a resort hopping day. Good mid and a trip day. So how did you guys regret it, or did you say, oh man, this was the perfect thing to do?
Definitely really enjoyed doing that. Because I am very much like a parks person, like want to go 24/7. But Jake isn't quite like that. And so I think he like really appreciated the break. And then honestly, after like forcing myself to like take the time to just kind of like relax and stuff like that, it was really nice. I knew that I wanted to take Jake, and we had Jake's brother with us, and then my one good friend who works down in Orlando. The four of us went around the monorail loop. So actually, I had messaged in a couple weeks ago to listener questions about doing the progressive dinner.
Yes.
And unfortunately, we didn't end up doing a progressive dinner because Pam brought up on that show about going to Wilderness Lodge, which I don't know why I didn't think of that. So we ended up just having dinner at Geyser Point.
Which is a great
Bison burger is the best burger on property. That was fantastic. The bison burger was so good. So yeah, we really loved going to Geyser Point, and our waitress there, Anna, she brought out a special dessert plate for Jake and me that said congratulations, and had little rings drawn on and chocolate and some cupcakes, stuff like that. So that was really sweet and special that they did that for us. And then while going around the monorail as well, we got to go to Enchanted Rose and just grab drinks there, which was a lot of fun because, again, I love Beauty and the Beast. So that's a place that's been on my list for a while.
I love that you're picking up these like smaller venues like Enchanted Rose, like the Edison, the things that, a lot of people don't talk about and a lot of people don't experience on trips, because this is the kind of second and third level like tier stuff that a lot of people don't think about, but really enhance a vacation. Even Cake Bake Shop, this is the stuff that's kind of the, off the beaten trail stuff that make a vacation so much fun. So, okay. So the next day you guys did split between, Animal Kingdom and Magic Kingdom. So how was it? What were a couple highlights from this day?
Yeah, so this was going to be our only, and we knew we were only going to spend a half day in Animal Kingdom, which I know is a little bit controversial. But
I'm usually the same way.
Yeah, so we decided to rope drop Kilimanjaro Safari, which was the way to go. That was like the most active I've ever seen the safari. We saw 3 lions. The zebras were like so close. If we reached out, we could have touched them. Obviously, we weren't going to do that, but the animals were just so active, which was great. And then we had single pass lightning lanes for Flight of Passage, which was obviously really helpful in just kind of beating that line. And then we ended up honestly prioritizing some shows later in that later that morning, early afternoon. So we did Festival of the Lion King because I just think that's one of the best shows on Disney property. And then
good, so underrated.
It's just so great. And then we did Feathered Friends in Flight. That is a show that my family just absolutely loves. And so I needed to bring Jake, and then my friend TJ joined us for that day as well. And TJ is like, he's an annual pass holder. He like loves Disney, and he had never done Feathered Friends in Flight. And he was just like, how have I never done this before? Like in like my decades of like going to Disney, like
now he's like
he was like
going on Etsy or whatever, buying a shirt. Like, I need a feathered friends of like I'm a fan club.
Yeah, it is just so good. It is so good. I would recommend it to anyone who is going to Animal Kingdom. And then we also got on Expedition Everest, and Jake doesn't do a lot of like coasters or like just like certain rides just because of some health things, but he decided to do Expedition Everest, and actually he said it was one of his favorite rides on the trip.
Even the backward part didn't get him, because the backward part starts to get me now. Like I was but now like when it goes backwards, I'm like, I think we're going upside down. I'm not sure. It feels like it though.
Yeah. He said like that part like definitely like had him feeling a little bit iffy, but like aside from that, like he really, really loved it.
It's a good
so
ride.
I'm glad that he enjoyed that one, because that ride is a lot of fun. So it was definitely a very quick morning, or I guess like early part of the day in Animal Kingdom. And then I guess one other thing I just want to bring up that we did too. So I have two nieces who are almost 3 and almost 6. And so as kind of a little souvenir for them, we had characters do some autographs on postcards. And then we also had a couple of characters record messages that I just texted to their mom. So Moana is one of their favorites. And so we met Moana, she autographed the postcard, and then she sent a little message to them, which was just really cool. And I think, if you have like little kids, like, I don't know, nieces, nephews, whatever, who like Disney characters, I think that's like an easy little kind of like, especially the video's completely free thing to do if you're going to meet the characters anyway. I saw them yesterday, and they were like, oh my gosh, Moana talked to me. She told me that I'm bringing the boat snack. And so they were just so excited.
Over and over, because as kids that age do. I mean, like with their YouTube videos or movies, whatever, they'll play that 1,000 times.
Yeah.
They'll show everybody, but they'll just lay in bed probably and watch it over and over and over and over. And also, Connor mentions with the birds, like that winged encounter that where they bring the macaws out at the Tree of Life. You guys probably missed it because you guys were coming to sorry. But those macaws that come out, I mean, they're so well trained. It's unbelievable, because I've seen that a few times. It's unbelievable. Like, I still can't believe. It's like one time I was like, those things have to be drones. Like, they're that well trained. Like it's unbelievable they can do that with those birds. I mean, they just go and just land on those perches, all like different perches, and then they just leave. It's unreal. Like that they can.
We didn't see them this trip, but they're definitely really, really cool. I agree.
That's good stuff. So then you go over to the Magic Kingdom, and man, it was about time, because every princess has to have dinner in a castle.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we decided to do Cinderella's Royal Table. Again, I grew up going to Disney, but we never did Royal Table. So this was like our kind of big celebratory dinner, I guess. Ended up being a celebratory dinner. And it was everything I've ever dreamed of. I loved that, like, when you first go in, you're immediately in line to meet Cinderella. And she was great. She did like these really pretty photos with us to kind of like showcase the ring and stuff like that. So like those ended up being really nice photos I was able to post. And there's like so sweet and thoughtful. All of the princesses and like all the little details in there, like Jacques and Gus being up like in the lobby, like on like the one little perch. And then like, when they play the little music to call your name, like once your table's ready, they're like, Cinderella invites the royal whatever family to, your table's ready. And walking up that spiral staircase that I thought would never end, honestly. But once you get into that dining room, my jaw dropped. And we were sat by the window.
You definitely know it's not Olive Garden from
yeah. No one is saying that that Cinderella's Royal Table is that the Olive Garden or the Applebee's or whatever.
It's not Applebee's, not Olive Garden. It's none of this. Not Chili's.
Definitely not.
So you get into the dining room, you're just like awestruck with the stained glass and the architecture of that restaurant is unreal.
Yeah, it's just so beautiful. And I was really excited because we were sat by the window. So we were looking over the carousel. So it was just really, really pretty to look out. And then the princesses come around. And I think one of my favorite interactions of the whole trip was with Princess Jasmine, because, you know, she saw we had our little happily ever after buttons on, and she asked what we were celebrating. We told her we got engaged. She asked to see the ring, and she just broke character completely. Which, like, maybe I shouldn't say. She was fantastic. But yeah, she like broke character completely. She was like, oh my gosh. And then she went back straight back in, and she said, I need you to like stick out your hand and show Aladdin that's what I want. So she went right back in. But yeah, that was definitely just an interaction that had, like, Jake and I are still talking about. It was just so great. Yeah, we had, I'm trying to think, Jasmine, Sleeping Beauty, Merida, and Ariel were the 4 princesses up in the dining room. So yeah, they were all great. The food was I thought the food was really good. I got the steak, and then the little cheesecake dessert is like the cutest thing ever, because it looks like a little, like, it looks like actual like cheese, like that like rats would eat.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just thought that was the cutest thing ever. So yeah, it was a great meal. I would definitely go back.
I haven't been there in years, but it is one of the most beautiful dining rooms ever. Like, it is. I love the look of that, the aesthetic. And like you said, if you go to those tables, looks over Fantasyland, like the carousel. Oh, I mean, that's chef's kiss. That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's been forever, but maybe I'll take, because the girls are getting so old. Like, I need to take them back to do something like this. It's like they never want to go out and eat with the dad, but if I take them there, you got to have a really big carrot at this point to get them to sit down with old dad for dinner. Maybe that would work. I don't know. Okay. Yeah. So the next day is basically your last day in the parks, because you're going to go home the next day. So it looks like you kind of did it big. Like, we're going to go 3 parks. So how do you wrap up this last day in the park?
Yeah, so we rope dropped Magic Kingdom that day. That was a party day for Magic Kingdom, because for whatever reason they decided that the Halloween party needs to be in August.
That's great.
Yeah. But honestly, so I made a mistake, but it ended up being fine. I thought that the park opened at 9, because it opened at 9 like every day that week. So I was like, okay, we need to get there like by like 8:30. It opened at 8, so early entry was at 7:30. But we got there. So we got there like an hour later. But it ended up being fine, because we walked straight onto Tiana's as soon as we got there, which I thought was insane.
That's crazy. That shows that the crowds were low for that day for sure.
Yeah. So we were able to get on like everything super, super quickly. We did have a single pass for Mine Train this day. And that ended up being really worth it. We did breakfast at Gaston's. I will say I didn't think that the cinnamon roll was as good as I remember. I don't know if like maybe I just had a bad batch.
Everybody's saying that lately. Everybody keeps saying that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just always hungry, but my last one was pretty good.
I usually love them, and again, maybe it was just like a bad like one that like just like wasn't quite.
A lot of people saying that. A lot. That's not uncommon. People are really, but people are high on that ham sandwich they have there now.
Yeah, that's really good.
Onto the other thing. Yeah.
Yeah, Jake got that, and I actually really enjoyed that. So I think next time we go, I might need to get that instead, because I also don't really like the creme brulee thing that they have.
Yeah.
But anyways, but yeah, we were able to just kind of hit some like last minute things in Magic Kingdom that we didn't get to. I got on Space Mountain and all that. And then a really cool moment happened, because I got some ears personalized, and I wanted to take them back to the resort just because it was rainy and I didn't want them to get ruined. So we were at the bus stop waiting to get back to the Riviera, and it didn't look like there was going to be a bus for a while. But then this bus comes by, and on the screen it says magical moments. And the bus driver just comes straight up to us, and he goes, "You guys want a private transfer to the Riviera?" And we're like, "Yeah,
no way.
Yeah, we do." So I'd never seen that before, and I thought it was just the coolest thing ever.
Talk about a mini van. You got a mini bus.
Yeah, exactly. So that was just like super, super cool. So we went back there, dropped off the ears really quickly, and then we went to Hollywood Studios because I got a last minute single pass for Rise of the Resistance, since that is Jake's favorite ride. I wanted to get on it one last time for him. And we ended up also seeing the Frozen show while we were at Hollywood Studios, which I think is one of the best shows too.
I've gone to that show when I've been down on solo trips. Like when I go down for Marathon Weekend by myself, I feel like a fool. Like I'm in the Frozen show by myself, like, a single guy, like, but it cracks me up.
It's like, so funny. Yeah, it was great. It was so good. And then we headed on over to to Epcot because the only thing that I had left on like our little to-do list that we didn't get to do was ride Test Track. We waited 3.5 hours in line for Test Track and didn't get on.
Shut up.
So
3.5 hours?
yeah.
Oh my God.
So we waited. Okay. When we got in line, it was posted 90 minutes. We waited 2.5 hours and then storms rolled in and they were like, we need to take a pause. So we were so close to the front at that point that we were like, we just got to stick it out. So we waited. I know we waited like an hour at that, like after that. And then finally just decided to cut our losses, get some dinner. So we went to Regal Eagle, which I usually like avoid because I'm like, if I'm in World Showcase, like I don't want American food. Like I want to have, like French cuisine or Chinese or, just something like in World Showcase, like I'm not going to get necessarily at home. But we decided to go to Regal Eagle. And honestly, I will be going back there for sure. It was so good. I really enjoyed it. That is really good food. And then we caught Luminous to end our night, which was really just I really enjoy it. I know that it's, it's no, what was it? Illuminations or
Illumination.
Yeah, Illuminations. Yeah. So, but I still think it's a good show. And it, despite the 3.5 hour wait in the Test Track queue,
driven from here to Kansas City in 3.5 hours.
Well, and what I was like thinking too, like I know that I think you were saying like you're glad that they don't have like the little like create your own car thing anymore. But honestly, I think that like the queue is just really boring now without it. I'm like, at least like that kind of gives you something to do. I don't know.
Going for 3.5 hours. I mean, by then your phone's gonna be you're gonna be dehydrated.
Yeah.
That's something. I can't remember.
So
I waited that long. Holy cow.
Yeah. Despite that little like hiccup, it still ended up being a really good night.
Yeah, I'm glad it was towards the end.
Yeah. We had, really good food, really nice fireworks show. I got to take the Skyliner one last time back to the Riviera. So it still ended up being a really, really beautiful night.
Oh, that's good. No, that's good. That's wild though. But you end your trip the next morning before you guys had to head, I guess, to the airport with Kona breakfast. I love that idea. That makes the departure a little bit easier.
It does. Yeah. Tonga toast is like, it should be its own food group, I think. It just like deserves its own spotlight. It is so good. So I knew that I wanted to end the trip with some Tonga toast. And so we went on over to the Riviera, or not to Riviera, to the Polynesian, excuse me, and got some Kona Cafe, which was just really great. And then we also ended up going to Wilderness Lodge quickly after that because Jake wanted a backpack that he saw there the one night. So we were able to scope out that gift shop one last time as well before heading on back and like officially like checking out, waiting for our Uber and whatnot. Our flight got delayed a little bit, which ended up being okay because then we got to spend a little bit more time on Disney property.
Yeah.
So
it's always better that end.
Exactly.
I like to stay a little longer. Well, I mean, what a trip. I mean, this is great that we got to share the ultimate engagement story of the week here on our podcast. No other podcast can rival ours. Now, we are losing you to darkness on the video feed here because you're an hour ahead.
I'm sorry.
It's only 5 minutes. So funny because you're an hour ahead of me and we're recording around sunset time and I'm just cracking up.
Yeah.
Because it's getting darker and darker on you. And it's just so funny. But obviously, I mean, what a romantic story and congratulations to both you and Jake.
Thank you.
But I'd normally ask like, any other stories, but like, was there any like lessons? Cause you're such a planner and you really, have get your head wrapped around like how to plan a great trip. But what would you tell somebody, maybe something you learned on this trip that maybe unexpected, that would help somebody that's going down maybe this time next year or here in the future, something you learned that would help folks headed down soon to make a better vacation for themselves?
Yeah. So I think two things. One, I feel like taking advantage of like even just like those single passes can really change your rope drop strategy because again, like Rise of Resistance, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, Flight of Passage, like those are rides that you're typically gonna rope drop. And if you can, get a single pass for them for like 11 a.m. or, whatever time during the day, that can mean that you can get just a lot more done, I think, in the morning or even sleep in a little bit and not have to, prioritize that in the morning. So I think like strategically, that was a really great thing that worked out for us. And then also, I think, if you can plan in a rest day, I've been pulled to that side. I've not done rest days usually in the past. So I definitely really enjoyed doing that and just being able to like soak up the resort that you're staying in or soak up going into other resorts. Like there's so much to do, on property outside of the parks that it's definitely worth it to just, spend an afternoon or an evening just going around the monorail loop and walking even just through the gift shops. Like it's fun. It's fun to see the different vibes of the resorts and to take that time where you don't need to be like on your feet like every second like you are in the parks.
Just
and
enjoy
out of the heat too.
Yeah, enjoy the transportation, snack.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point. Well, again, congratulations to you guys. Thanks for taking the time to come on the show, and love always seeing you in the clubhouse. It's always fun to interact over there, and we'll have to do this again after your next trip. Thanks for taking the time.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks, Mike.
All right. Don't forget, our show is always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney adventure for no additional cost to you. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys are the folks who keep us on the air. So a huge, huge thank you to you. You can support us as well, just $5 a month. And for that support, you get a bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. Come over this week. We'd sure love to have you. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. You can follow me on the social media. I'm at beourguestmike on x.com, Instagram, and Threads. And the place you need to be, where Allie is, where I am, where Jason is, the Rainmaker. Everybody is. Come on, Dennis, the Grill Master. He was just here, but he had to scoot. You'll check him out, though. Everybody's over in the clubhouse. We just passed 1,500 of our listeners hanging out over there this past week. It is so much fun. No ads, no fuss, no arguing. It's just great people. So coming over, it's free for everybody. beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. We'll see you over there this week. And don't forget, this Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, it'll be the Be Our Guest Podcast live call-in show. We turn the show over to you, open up the phone lines, and talk Disney. And Scotty G will be back this weekend from his cruise. So if you have any questions about sailing out of Fort Lauderdale, the Disney Dream, because again, they did upgrade the Dream. It's got the new food court that like the Wish and the Treasure have. They put that on the Dream. He went to Remy, so we'll have a lot to talk about. So join us Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, or Twitch, and we'll take your call. So join us for that. All right, but until then, it's still Labor Day here in the States. So get out there, swim, grill, have fun, and enjoy your day off. But we'll be here Wednesday with more listener questions. If you have a question, Mike at beourguestpodcast.com. So for Allie out in Pennsylvania, I'm Mike here in Missouri. You guys have a great week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Boom, that was a good show.
I know, yeah. I'm in Jake's office right now, and I don't actually know like where the light is. I'm like never in this room.
That's so funny. It was just slowly we were fading out. I was like, oh my gosh, it gets dark quick in Pennsylvania this time of year.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, it's definitely dark. Out here.
Second or third guest has happened to over the years, like where it's just like, boom. Like it's like, am I going too long on the show that like it's gone from like totally light, like I can't even see him anymore? Like we got wrapped.
Yeah. It happens
at night, quick. Oh, that's so funny. Well, Allie, congratulations! And what a great! Everybody's gonna love this. This is such a fun story to share. So thank you for letting us do it.
Yeah, thank you. And it sounds like our next trip will be out to Disneyland in May. So I'll have to let you know once we've got that one officially booked.
Oh, I love Disneyland. Yeah, totally let me know because we'll do a show for sure. Because I love Disneyland. All right, I'm gonna edit this thing up and I gotta get back to work. It's a busy week with all the cruises.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Good no. And then we got a football game tomorrow night, so they're gonna be out of the office. So it's just a nightmare, but we'll get it done.
Well, good luck.
All right, I'll see you later. Take care.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
And I will see you guys Sunday morning for Mike in the Midwest. Have a good one, everybody.